So you want to know how to grow on Twitch. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about how to get your first 500 followers on Twitch. I know this is a topic that is thrown all over YouTube, and that's fine, but you don't really see videos talking about how to get your first 100 or your first 200 or your first 1,000. You typically see videos on how to just grow. And although those videos are useful and they do have good tips, I don't think they're always practical. They tell you how do you grow. Well, what is growing? Is that 1 follower, 10 followers, 1,000, 10,000? What is growing to you? For me, I wanted to narrow it down. I wanted to talk about how to get your first 500 followers, or at least give you my experience getting my first 500 followers. But before we get into that, there's a few things that need to be said. There's a few ground rules, if you will. Number 1, you don't have to have the best personality. Number 2, you don't have to always be amazing at the game that you play. And number 3, you don't have to have the best gear. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you and say that those don't play a part. They do, but it's not necessary for you to grow on Twitch. It's not necessary for you to grow on YouTube. It's not necessary for you to grow on social media platforms. They do help, they're awesome to have, but remember, not necessary. If it's something that you think you wanna do, then start. That is the most important thing. You have to start, okay? Now, how to get your first 500 Twitch followers. This is gonna be different for everybody. It's person to person, right? For me, I never utilized social media. And that's the first thing I wanna talk about. If you have social media platforms, utilize them, okay? What does this mean? Well, take the time to learn about the social media platform. Does it have an algorithm? How does that algorithm work? When are peak times? When are not peak times? What's the best type of way of sharing the content that I want on this platform? Is it a link? Is it a video? Is it a photo? What is it? How do people interact with what I say? You've got to understand your social media platforms. That's something I did not do. Trying to grow your Twitch channel without using social media would be like trying to skateboard with 3 wheels instead of 4. It can be done, yes. It's quite a bit more difficult to do so. So make sure you're utilizing the social medias that you have. And if you don't have a Twitter or you don't have an Instagram, I recommend that you get one. You don't have to go full force with it right out of the get-go, but having it ready and there and available so that when you are mentally and emotionally prepared to be posting your content on there, you can. Use social media. The second thing I want to talk about is being consistent. It's very, very difficult. I get it. I understand. You see, I've been streaming off and on since 2014. That's 6 years. And it wasn't until this past year that I decided I wanted to try and take this seriously. You see, my current channel over at twitch.tv/blank1440, I started about a year ago. Actually, I created the account in 2017, but I started streaming on it about a year ago. And at the time that I started streaming, it was about May, and I had, I don't know why I remember exactly, but it was 28 followers. I had 28 followers. And as of today, I have 525 followers. That's almost 500 new followers in 1 year. Now, for a major channel, that's nothing. But from a channel that practically started from zero, that had no interaction, no analytics, absolutely nothing, because I didn't use it for 2 years, I grew 500. To give you an example of how much that is, to give you an idea of how much growth that is, it comes out to 1,775%. So over a year, I grew 1,775%. That's the difference between 28 followers and 525. Now, will I be able to keep that up for the remainder of my career? I have no idea. Probably not. But the point is that you can do it if you're consistent. And what does that mean? Well, let's look at how many hours I typically put in every month. So as you can see, I'm currently averaging 206 hours this month. That's over full time. Full time is 40 hours a week. 40 times 4 is 160 hours. So I'm streaming about 50 hours more. And at my peak, I was streaming about 270 hours in a month. So you've got to put in the time. This isn't something that is going to be handed to you. Because we're talking about Twitch, you have to understand your platform. If you're streaming on YouTube, it'd be a little bit different, or Facebook, or Mixer. You have to understand your platform. With Twitch, there is no discoverability. The clip section and the video section is kind of up in the air. I don't understand it a whole lot, and I I understand where I think they were trying to go, but it doesn't seem like they're doing much with it now. And now you're having the whole music issue on Twitch, people getting copyrighted and things like that. And so the whole video production area and the clip section of Twitch it's not where it needs to be, and it's not on par with YouTube. The thing is, Twitch will never fix the discoverability problem unless another rival platform forces it into a position to do so. The only other competitor that might be able to do this is YouTube. And in terms of the numbers, they're not close. They're growing at a much faster rate than Twitch is, but YouTube still isn't in the place to push Twitch to the point where it's like, okay, we need to make a discoverability, or we need to fix the discoverability so that people know that they will be able to grow if they stream over on Twitch. As of right now, it's number based. If you have more viewers, you're ranked higher. If you have less, you're ranked lower. It's pretty simple. But in terms of like having an algorithm of like, I type in this and here are these clips and here are these videos, and it leads you to your Twitch channel, there's no way of doing that. That is why I think it's so important, and not even I think, it's so important for you to utilize Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, or whatever other, TikTok maybe, what other social medias that you have available to you in order to help you grow. Now, the big thing about getting to 500, and the reason that I'm so hell-bent on focusing on that number, is because 500 is a milestone for most people. Getting to 100 followers or whatever, that's cool, it's nice. But there's something about 500 that's like, you know what? That's a lot of people. Like 500 that's a lot of people. That was basically my entire graduating class. And some of the towns in some of the states in the US, that's about half the size of the town. 500 is not a small number. Now, when you compare, the problem is you compare it to some people that are at the top of their game. And so, yeah, when you have 500 followers and you compare it to 1 million, it's a completely different ballgame. But if you'll take a step back and look at 500, you'll say to yourself, wow, there are 500 people who clicked on the follow button. Does that mean you're gonna have 500 people watching? No, absolutely not. But there are 500 people who said, you know what, this person's content I enjoy to watch. It's entertaining enough. They're good enough at the game. They know enough about whatever it is that they're doing that I would like to watch them again. And you may not see that person again for another 6 months, but they're saying next time they're live, or at some point when they're live, I'll probably be back. That gets us into our final section. What exactly did I do? I talked about me being consistent. I talked about my lack of using social media and other platforms in order to grow. So how did I get to 500? Well, here's the big thing. I talk to my chat. I stream a minimum of 4 or 5 hours a day. I'm above average at the games that I play. I'm not gonna go out and win $1 million tournament, but I'm gonna have a positive kill-death ratio, or I'm gonna have enough knowledge about the game that I'm playing that if you have basic to medium questions, I'll probably be able to answer them. I have a good personality. Now, like I said in the beginning, you don't have to have any of these, but they do help. But if you're not willing to start because you think you don't have what it takes, or because you don't have the right gear, or because you don't think you're good enough at a game, then you're probably right. You're never gonna make it. You're never gonna hit that 100 followers. You're never gonna hit that 500 followers. You're never gonna hit that 1,000 followers. It starts with you. It starts with believing in yourself. It starts with starting. And it starts with taking the time to build upon your craft. Entertainment's not easy. Never has been, never will be. But if you don't believe in yourself, who will?